What's up, manga fans, and welcome back to another review of Bleach. This week's chapter 649, The Theatre Suicide Scene 3. So, first off, I'm actually happy to say I was right about the prediction I made 2 chapters ago, in which I thought Kubo might possibly be using the filler character design for Kiriakis Zanpkatou from the Zanpkatou filler arc in the manga, and indeed Katen Kyokotsu, the adult version, has appeared to us, the manifestation that we all thought we saw when Kiriaku first released the Zanpatou has appeared, and it is exactly the same as the animation team, the character design the animation team used for the Zanpatou filler arc. So this makes me happy because it's giving me hope now that possibly the other Zanpatou character designs might appear, in the manga. I'm not gonna be overly hopeful for this, but it's kind of nice to hope maybe they could appear, because there are some really good character designs I did like for the Zanpatous, particularly Rukia's, because it was dubbed the most beautiful Zanpatou in Soul Society, and it was a beautiful design. You have Byakuya's Zanbunzakura kind of samurai design, the little kids for Ukitake's design, Kazushine and other ones like that I found very enjoyable as their personality as well as their design. I thought they really worked, and I would like to see them in the manga, but we'll just have to see what happens. But going back to Katen Kyokotsu, the adult version, she actually comes with her own name, so it makes me interested to know if all dual Zanpatous have their own names. The only one we've seen is Ichigo so far stated that both are Zangetsu, but that's Ichigo being Ichigo because he wants to see them as both. But she comes with her own name, and her name is Sakuranosuke, and she's very playful. She seems kind of very similar to how she was in the filler arc, and she's pretty much, how Ukitake is teasing, playful, and but obviously a bit more brutal, kind of like, most women are to Kiriaku, who's close to him. But yeah, it's also given me hope, because the way this chapter ended up with everyone raging and Kiriaku's untimely demise, which I'm not convinced about. Maybe the other little girl, the little spirit girl, will appear next chapter, and we'll get to see a name from her, and possibly her saving Kiriaku from this predicament, because I'm just not convinced the Captain Commander himself, or Kiriaku, who's a prominent, powerful captain to begin with, would die like that. We haven't seen any flashbacks from him. It's a shot in the chest. We've seen so many people survive attacks like that. I mean, Hiyori was cleaved in two, and she survived. So I just can't see Kiriaku dying from this. And I just think it kind of surprises me that everyone, or not everyone, but the majority I've seen would rage from this, because this is typical Kubo. I'm not saying you should get used to it, but the reactions are kind of like, wow, this is nothing different from what we've seen before. He throws red herrings, he trolls that as any turns. As much as I don't like counter attacks right at the end, you think the villain's dead, it's something I expect, so I just roll with it and think, you know what, Kiriaku's not dead, he's gonna come back and beat him, and I think the little girl will be, the source of that. So as much as it annoys me, I agree it annoys me. It's so obvious, it's predictable Kubo does stuff like this. I wasn't expecting it, but the fact that it happened is expected, if that makes sense. It's predictable from Kubo, so it happens. But this chapter was enjoyable because seeing Lille so wound up and like not like the god's messenger or the divine being or deity likes to claim himself, he was panicking. It's like at the beginning he was like a fly in water trying to get out, like, oh, my wings aren't working, I can't reach the surface. And he's like, every time I'm flapping they just don't work, I'm getting further and further away from the surface. And Kiriaku to mock him, saying, well, we're thrown in water, but ourselves, we put ourselves here, and the body temperature will drop and resolve will go down with it. So he's basically saying your resolve is the reason why you're falling down. And he's like, you're losing it, basically. Like you've panicked so much, you just can't find a resolve to get out and save yourself. And I enjoyed when he recited this line, like, a man makes a promise but doesn't keep it, and a woman that couldn't forget her love for him. It's interesting because it goes with the whole theme of his Bankai being a play, and he's the narrator, and each move he does is like, act 1, act 2, act 3. Because I was confused last time because it was saying stage. I didn't think, oh, this was actually, a theatre, a play. But saying act 1, act 2, or whatever, you know, scene 1, scene 2 makes sense. And this is basically him narrating each time, you know, there's a move or an effect. And it was really, as I said, interesting now that I've looked at it much better. I guess the translations confused me, but this is where Sakuranosuke is introduced, and it's funny because she is very, I'd say, teasing, because when he called her Onohana, he was like, "Oh, you're getting very familiar with despite not playing with me for a while." So that just shows Kiriakou has really not used his bankai in a long time, or that often. So for her to say that shows that she hasn't appeared to him in a while, and it just shows how dangerous his bankai is. He can't use it around other people. So it was nice for her to say, despite, you know, being mean and everything to him, she'll stay by his side until the very end. But that line, "until the very end," made me a bit worried about Kiriakou's, you know, future in this series, because I don't think he's gonna die in this fight. Maybe he will, but I'm just not convinced he's dying as of yet. And for her to say something ominous like that makes me a bit worried about him. But regardless, yeah, as I said, it was nice despite her teasing side. So Lile is on his whole, you know, bankais can't kill me because I'm a god's messenger deity, and tries to basically rush Kiriakou, who pretty much ends it quite quickly with this interesting technique he uses: thread cutting, scissors, blooded throat. And it's like he formed a white thread around him. He was talking about a very interesting line again for the theatre, and he's like, "I can do you the favor of cutting it." And when he cuts the thread, it slits Lile's throat. It swells up and then it explodes and completely blows his head off, and his body just falls down. I was like, brutal. That was a brilliant attack. And what I liked was, I was correct about the whole, is there another stage, another level? I think he probably can go as far as he wants in terms of he can do act 1, act 2. He did say it's the final act. I'm going to end it here by cutting the thread. So maybe there is only 4 acts, but I was right that there is a further act beyond, you know, act 3 or scene 3. So at this point, we think, you know, it's all done with. Kiriakou falls down, and nicely Sakuranosuke catches him in his lap, and he's all perverted, like, maybe I should use bankai more often if I can have moments like this. And he was gonna jab him in his, you know, the one good eye he had left, these dodge. He's like, "Oh, I've only got one good eye, don't do that." And then she kind of was a bit sympathetic, and I'd say emotional, when she was saying, "Oh, we both look the same now, we both act strange, but at least we've won." But that was said too soon, because the infamous scene where Kiriakou's chest is pierced happens, and shocking both of them, so you can tell they weren't prepared for that. And Lile's headless body reappears, and all this energy starts forming where his head used to be, and he starts shouting, "See, a bankai can't kill me because I'm a god's messenger," for like the nth time that today. So yeah, as I said, it was a good chapter in my opinion. It was kind of repetitive to see, you know, the whole counter attack thing, but it gives room for Kiriakou's, as I said, the little girl spirit to come in and make her appearance. And excuse me, I think she will be the one to, you know, save him and most likely kill Lile. Maybe together they'll, you know, destroy him with maybe a 5th act or something. I don't know, but I just can't count Kiriakou out. The captain commander, you know, one of the most powerful Shinigami in the Gotei 13, to be off like this, and we've seen much more severe wounds from Shinigami and still survive. Yeah, I'm not convinced. I think Kubo is definitely trolling us. So yeah, as I said before, I was happy about this chapter because we got to see, you know, Kiriakou's Zanpkatou design from the filler be used in this, so now it's canon. I can only hope the others will follow suit. And as I said, hopefully the little girl from the other half of Katen Kyokotsu will appear and hopefully save the day. So yeah, as I said, it was an interesting chapter. I like all the whole play style of this, how it's going on. The only thing that's making me worried is, you know, the theatre suicide titles for these chapters, making me think, will Kiriakou commit suicide, which I hope doesn't happen. So yeah, that's more or less it. Quick chapter, a bit annoying towards the end, but it was fun to see, you know, Kiriakou's bankai in its real form and everything like that. So you know the usual, guys. If you got any opinions or predictions, any little comments, let me know in the comment box below, and I'll speak to you guys next time. Take care.